Hey, I'm Kev, Mr. Cole, and welcome back to MotoGP 17 and the manager career. So we're heading to Malaysia. And it looks like the rain has just followed MacDonald to Malaysia, to the Sigpan International Circuit. Look at this. We've got a Malaysian monsoon. The rain dance worked for MacDonald and he could not be happier in these conditions. As we saw last time out in Australia, it was a bit drier, but still it was wet. MacDonald dominated in the race. Maybe not in qualifying, as all the outbreaks and something major going into the first corner. But in the race, you can be sure he'll be right up there if these conditions remain. As he goes a bit wide in the second corner as well. That's not how you begin at that, MacDonald. So qualifying, top 20 again on the grid is the aim. Top 15 would be a bonus like we saw last time out. Now making in a prime position to launch himself up the order, heading into that first corner as well. He takes a bit of the wide line there. Want to do that in a couple of corners in these conditions, so I'll be heading towards the apex. And so he turns it a bit late into the right hander there, sliding the bike right. As long as he's just gentle on the power, he'll be fine round it. Bit of a tight line through the double right. That's all. You don't want to be on the curbs in these conditions. Just go into the left in the middle part of the lap, going up the hill. Use that camber, use that uphill rise to slow the bike down as well. Let's take it in second gear into the right. With the snatch the throttle a bit again. Now I'll snatch the brake, sorry. Again, going into that corner. Again, into the left hander, sliding slightly wide. And then talk about sliding wide, it's very easy to do that into the right hander. One of the trickiest corners on the calendar. The only trickiest round this circuit, this modern facility. Less than 20 years old is the thing. It's definitely become a modern great in those years. Slightly wide into the final hairpin, but then we can get on the power. Hopefully launch it out the corner. As he's going to do a 209.7. I feel like that's a pretty average lap time. I feel like you need to be around the low 208 to be right up there, but still that could be a top 20 time. You see the gap at the front. As let's go to session info, let's skip time. Oh, how wrong am I? Look at that from MacDonald, a second fastest by the mistake in the first sector, ahead of anyone else. As he goes another Moto2 pole ahead of Morbidelli and Lu2 with Alex Marquez on the second row. Oh, he's got some work to do going into the first corner, does the championship leader with Oliviera alongside him and Passini. Nakagami leads the third row, the Baldassari and Shirota, and Verge rounds out the top 10 over Kent. And Marini has Vanda, his best qualifying of the season, 17th. Oh, the elusive twins are flying in these conditions. They're speedboating around this track as he's on the 6th row, alongside the home hero, Surin. And Axel Pons in 16th, as well as the other Malaysian rider, Pauli. Normally he's so good in these conditions. He is at home in these conditions, but he qualifies in 30th with the Spanish rider right at the back. So can the elusive twins just carry on this form into the race? Unfortunately, it has dried up for the race, though, as you can see in the back, where it's still got wet conditions, no rain falling. So you could have a dry line match, a bit like Australia, actually. You could have a drier track near the end where you have a definitive dry line. Look at Magnum in 70, of course, the light's still magnificent at the top. As there goes everyone charging down his inside in the first corner. Hopefully that doesn't happen at the start proper. So you can down there's Pauli in 30th.
Taking their places on the grid. The light is about to go out any second now. This is when the riders have to clear their minds completely so they can give it everything they've got.
And look at that clear run MacDonald has got towards the first corner. There's a no love for the last page riders. Not nice to see. As we build the revs up. Get away in Malaysia. 5 laps. We've got a much better start. We actually got it into gear. And look at this. It's clear sailing. It's smooth sailing even for MacDonald. Towards the first corner as he breaks a bit early. And oh, it is a bit like the formation lap. As here comes Luti down the inside into the lead. Well, it is Oliveira as well. Dyson. Looks like Marquez. Oh no, it's Morbidelli up to third. As Luti leads, the veteran. And Cassini challenging Oliveira for fourth. As he slots into fifth. Breaking a bit early. Still right up behind Luti though, going through that right-hander. Again, that corner slightly gets away from him as he bashes his way past Luti. Didn't expect the Swiss rider to slow down so much. Going into the left-hander. Now going into the right. You can see it's almost exactly the same condition as Philip Heinen race last time out. We saw what MacDonald did in that race. Will it be the same story as he already leads? Almost a second over Luti. Takes it very gently through the double right. You can see it's not as sunny though. As Philip Heinen. Oh, the rain is falling. The rain is falling again. I was about to say it's cloudy. And once again, the rain dancers work for MacDonald. And Vander as well, remember. Very good in the wet. From qualifying, so he could be on some more points. I'm like a proud father. Some riders are scoring points now. Get down the second, taking the wide line to that corner, making sure we're not hitting any curbs, as he's got 1.7 second lead over Luti. That's the battle behind the Swiss rider. Morbidelli up to third ahead of Oliveira. As we come to the end of the first lap. Just 5 laps of this circuit because it's so long, especially in these conditions. Over 2 minutes long the lap, and Morbidelli up to second over Luti. Where's Marquez? Is the title slipping away from him? Looks like it slipped into his grasp, remember, when he was battling for the Moto3 title with Jack Miller. The Australian went a bit crazy that race. And that enabled Marquez, so helped him win that title that season. We've seen that again, but the opposite effect in Moto2 this season. It's Morbidelli and Luti battling. So once again, MacDonald misses out that first corner. Still got to figure out the braking into that corner. He brakes very early now into the right-hander. You can see, corner doesn't really let you get towards the apex, so you've got to turn in early into that corner. And then hope that you're carrying a good amount of speed so that you end up where MacDonald did, you know, right up there. On the outside of the corner on the exit. So that's a nice sweeping S-bend for MacDonald now on the double right. Get down to second. He's on the powers. That dry line has definitely disappeared. Look at the track. Might have to call the arc in. As we've heard of Noah's Ark, but MacDonald's Ark is even better. Even stronger, faster. As Morbidelli is second. Ahead of Luti. MacDonald, he's playing chicken with the curbs. Don't really want to do that in these conditions. He's doing it nonetheless. Still no mistakes really from him. I'll say that he goes slightly wide into the penultimate corner. But he probably want to do that. He's over 5 cents. Headers Vander's down from 11th. What are you doing to me? Oh, Jack. For a magnificent at 11th. He was set for points. All that full tarnish his hopes. They drained away like the water's not draining away from this track. It's just piling on top of it as you go on to the third lap. 208.6. It's like qualifying all over again, getting to those 208s. He brakes around 150 metres now. First corner, that's better. Getting it towards the apex in second gear. Get towards the apex, the left-hander. Very comfortable now into those first couple corners. It's for the first time he's done that right all weekend. As Luti's in second ahead of Morbidelli. Again, just being so smooth and gentle with the throttle. Just like it was in Philippines. Morbidelli's up to second ahead of Luti. A titanic battle. The runners up spot behind. It really is just a battle for second this race. As once again, where the master is showing off his skills. Get on the power. Very gentle through that double right. You can sort of dab the brakes in the middle of it as well. As he's heading towards the curb. Don't want to be doing that. Don't be trail braking too much as well in these conditions. Very easy for the bike to get away from me. Let's all look at that track surface glisten. And see your reflection in it. I'm sure Dan MacDonald won't be too distracted though. Just focusing on the road ahead. As once again, got to apologise, been a bit of a boring race in these conditions. We'll just ease away from the competition. They're not even showing the timing gaps now, he's so far ahead. Could probably take a bit of a breather in pit lane and still be leading. Gets it down to second for the final corner. Takes that wide and then tight exit line so he can get on the power early for this front stretch. Dips into the 2.8s again. 2.8.7, so consistent. Here's MacDonald this race. Found no one to get near. There's now Luti's battling with Oliveira for third. Marquez still not battling for the podium. Is he just saving it now? These last couple of laps, on the penultimate lap of the race. Because Morbidelli in second is looking very handy. Of course, if Luti drops back further as well, and looking handy for MacDonald in the championship to maybe snatch fourth. He's all taking some curve there. Lucky to get away with it. Head towards the middle sector. And just hold it half throttle. Dab the brakes into the right. Turned in slightly late though, went wide. As once again Luti's now back on the tail of Morbidelli for second. As that's better through the second right. Been a bit tight on a couple of occasions, but he just got to carry the speed out of the first corner a bit better. Definitely did it on that occasion. And then through this right. Oh, he's down! Back end gets away from him. But he rejoins in the lead. That's just a reminder of how tricky these conditions are. I was about to say through the right hand, you've got to watch out for the back end. Well, that's a curse that MacDonald's put on himself there. Heading towards the penultimate corner. What is the gap behind? It's still so big they're not showing the gap. So, still for MacDonald a wake-up call in this penultimate lap of the race. He's just got to keep the concentration up for just another lap. He goes wide. Taking that very wide line. Cutting back on the exit. Yeah, crowd on the left-hand side. Massive crowd. Jamal goes on to the final lap of the race. Another masterclass. Had a bump in the road though. Still hasn't deterred him. He's led. He didn't get the whole shot. Luti got that. But he's led since taking the lead through those sweepers. And put up the lap. As now Luti's fallen back into the clutch of Oliveira. Again, I asked, where is Marquez? Nowhere. It looks like Morbidelli's going to be leading out the Mark VDS pair, heading to the season finale in Marquez's home, of course, Valencia. The fourth Spanish round of the season. And Marquez is going to have to produce something special on home turf to win it as well. But of course, you've got the spoilers like MacDonald, Oliveira, Luti could help him. Or could help Morbidelli. But they have this race. So we're halfway through this final lap. Now coming up to this right-hander. Door short shifts immediately. Takes it a bit easier. Get down to second gear. Using some curve. You can afford to do that on this final lap, I think. So he does it curves on the inside like you saw on that left-hander. That is a deal breaker between bike staying on track, a rider staying on track and rider not. He's got out the penultimate corner. Crowd are waving their massive Rossi flags, and it's like all of them in the grandstand. Not biased at all. Let's go out the final corner, slightly wider line this time, a bit more conventional in these conditions. So crosses the line with another 2.8 and another victory in the wet and another victory, third in a row in Moto 2. As he went to almost 10 seconds out of Morbidelli, Luti third, Olivia fourth, Marquez in fifth, a bit of a lonely fifth, second half behind Olivia in the second ahead of Piscini, with Bagnaia seventh, Marini eighth, Adazari ninth, Nekagami 10th, Schwarzer in 11th. Good points again for the shooter rider. Quartaro 12th, Danny Kemp 13th. Fergay, the master tactician. Normally good in these conditions, well, not so this race. 14th with Binder breaking home hearts. We're going the final point by 54 thousandths of a second ahead of Surin. As where was Vander? 25th in the end. Pretty good despite having that fall, but you saw where he was when he fell. Could have been so much better for the South African. So in the championship, it is confirmed Morbidelli will be leading heading into the season finale by 5 points from Alex Marquez. Winner takes all, as Oliveira finishes in third and is 20 points back. He's just outside, and it's like of grabbing a title, but a fantastic run for the KTM rider this season, with Lutin fourth, MacDonald in fifth, 19 points back with the Swiss rider, and 29 points ahead of Piscini, so he's guaranteed a top 5 finish, which is our aim for the second half of the season. So well done to the Scot for achieving that. After a very tricky middle period of the season, he has recovered well these last few races, with Baldassarri in 7th on the number 7. That's quite fitting, but 5 points behind his fellow Italian. That's a good battle heading to Valencia as well. And Bagnaia in a very strong season from him, ahead of Verge. Marini rounds out the top 10 ahead of Nakagami, Quartararo, Kent, Agata, Axel Pons, as they can further down. Brad Binder. It's when the battle of the South Africans between a team right there, between Jack Vander by a single point. As that's the only change in the championships. That's another good battle to look at heading into Valencia, the battle for 18th. As Locatelli is last, and in the constructor stand, it's all settled. Basically heading to Valencia. Canucks with 420 points. KTM in second, Tech 3 third, Suter fourth, and Speed Up in last. As so many cause, he's basically the only rider scoring points for the constructor. And oh my God, he gets even more excited with every win. He loves this feeling, does MacDonald. And hopefully he doesn't break his hip jumping off that bike, as just about makes it. As Morbidelli and Luti exchanging notes in the background, and yeah, the clones, they will be partying long into the night after this race. And the eyes are back as well. As we've on 1992, Alex Barros. Oh, the veteran Brazilian rider. He felt like he lasted MotoGP or 500cc for ages. He was the Rubens Barrichello of 500cc and MotoGP racing, because he was so good on his day, but he just didn't produce it enough and just wasn't consistent enough to really challenge for the title. But a very good rider in his own right, just didn't have it all. A bit like Barrichello when we found out he was alongside Schumacher at Ferrari in F1. You know, they're very good when they were leading their team. You know, they could punch above their weights on kind of low end bikes, but the top teams didn't quite deliver. I know that's perhaps a bit unfair on Barros. He's a bit better than Barrichello alongside Schumacher, but in the background, he may have crashed. He may have had a bit of a wobble, but he still won. Fantastic from Dan MacDonald. And Vander, what could have been for the Cypriots roll call on the front row. It finished in 22nd. His new race objective of finishing in the top 20. Not achieved. Well, look at that. The Argentine rider once again started 14th. Finished 14th. He's so consistent. He scored more points. He's up to 16th in the championship, and he achieved the race objective. He's definitely becoming one of my favourites as he improves his braking and cornering. The Cypriot improves his throttle management. Then MacDonald improves his throttle management, and Vander improves nothing. And we've earned a decent amount of credits and reputation. Smashed it through the 100,000 mark already. So we get repair costs. Dan MacDonald, what have you done? 25,000 credits. There could be a difference between getting the Ducati at the end of the season or sat in for the KTM probably. That's the end of the episode. We got an activity day to do. It's been a while since we've done an activity day. We can send our riders to the coach to improve their body position ability by doing some coordination training, which will give them a bonus of 20% for the next race. Autograph session, get 350 reputation. That's nothing. Or go to the coach and do abs and back muscles training for riders, improve their coordination by 20% for the next race. Or go to the coach to improve the muscle building, improve the throttle control ability by 20% for the next race. So this is all about coaching up our riders. What do we want to do? Improve the body position, improve the cornering, or improve the throttle control, which could be very handy around for them. It's a very technical circuit. You've got lots of slow corners which you need good throttle control out of, but then you've got lots of corners, so cornering would be very helpful. And then of course body position, going around those corners as well as effectively as you can. So it's a very physical race as well. It's a long race, one of the longest on the Canada, so there's points for all three of these coach sessions, but I think you'll go for abs and back muscles. Let's go with coordinating ability. As next time out, we will head to the final round of the season, penultimate round of the season as well, penultimate weekend of the season. It is Valencia. It is the fourth visit to Spain. Will Dan MacDonald secure another victory, get that streak going, make it last until next season? Will Van der score some more points in the battle with Binder in the championship? Will the Argentine score more points? Been so consistent in recent times throughout the whole of the season. He's just growing as a rider. And will the Sitpick get a front row conversation and then finish in the back like usual? Find out next time. South watching, and I'll see you then.